So I've asked you this question before because I interviewed you in my book, Breakthrough. Thank you very much. I have to ask again, and I remember it took me a while because your brain works differently than we mere mortals. How do your patches work?
The patches work by stimulating points on the body that are known as acupuncture or acupressure points, depending on the culture. And it's really fascinating when you think about it. 1.8 billion people use acupuncture or acupressure as their primary means of healthcare. This system of medicine has been around for 5,000 years, and it can be used from everything for simply balancing the flow of energy in the body, for improving our energy, or it can be used to treat things like allergies. And so we have this system of medicine that's been around for several thousand years, and it's part of our body's communication system. And if we begin to understand that as we age, two of the things that happen that are extraordinarily detrimental are a decline in our body's energy production and a decline in the efficiency of the body's communication system. If we improve energy flow and energy production, if we improve the body's communication system, then we have a very dynamic way of improving our health and also slowing down and even reversing some of the symptoms of aging. So that's what I'm really excited about, and especially when we translate it into benefits that people experience every day.
So I'll play devil's advocate, because I'm sure that this comes up a lot. Is there any scientific proof of your patches that they work?
We've done numerous studies. We've already had a number of them published. We just had one on carnosine published, one on glutathione published. We've had others published on energy patches. And what we find is that the patches will change and balance the electrical properties of the body. And this is very exciting. So we've had heart rate variability studies. We've got a brainwave study coming out that's going to be published soon. We've got studies that have been done on electromyography. So we've got 30 studies completed, and we've got another 30 on the drawing board right now.
Tell me about your study, Dr. Clark.
I use technology that's called infrared imaging. And we're able to measure thermal differences of the skin temperature down to 1/100th of a degree. With that, in a practical way, we're able to see the abnormalities that other technologies just simply don't see. We're then able to patch the appropriate areas and measure the body's response.
What I'm getting from all of this is a very sophisticated new approach to aging, to health, in something that appears to be so uncomplicated, which is a little patch.
Correct.
Well, there's a great mystery here. That's what interested me as a scientist to want to research it. And we're using probably some of the most sophisticated technology to study the meridian systems of the body. Now, meridians are very ancient understanding in traditional Chinese medicine. And we don't know physiologically exactly where they run. We surmise that they're in the connective tissue matrix underneath the skin. They have to do with the hydration and how water molecules are organized, and all the different proteins like hyaluronic acid and so on that organize this water, that create these conduction channels for electrical charges to move.
Right.
So we now can hook up a subject, and we're doing this now in research at the California Institute for Human Science, which is probably some of the best equipment on the planet right now for studying this. We hook up 28 points on the fingers and on the toes, have the subject sit there, and in every 5 seconds we can measure the acupuncture meridians and exactly see what happens to the energetic system based on these electrical measurements. And from that we can analyze what happens when you put on the patch and how soon does it change.
From a layperson's perspective, it's hard to understand how can something work, and it's about the infrared light in your body. Can you explain that?
The patches work on the infrared system and the reflection that it happens that emanates from within us. LifeWave patches are amazing at stimulating drainage, and then my job is to get the organs working depending upon the integrity of the patient. I want the organs to be working really well so that they can take on the amazingness of the patches and detox the body. So it's up to us to detox, up to the patches to provide the drainage.
The whole concept of keeping your organs and glands strengthened is a new concept in alternative medicine. Can you explain to me how you're able to gauge this?
Some very important and powerful things are happening with the heart and the autonomic system. You're decreasing the sympathetic drive, which means that you decrease stress, and you're increasing the parasympathetic effect to the heart, which means you're into a more relaxation recovery mode.
We were interested in, when we studied the patches using similar equipment, we saw that there was a change towards the parasympathetic fairly quickly. That means more relaxation, more adaptation, lower heart rates, greater ability to digest your food, because that's what you do in the parasympathetic state. So it's essentially more of a relaxation response. There's another way of measuring things by resonance in the body. The body works through resonant processes all the time energetically. It works through light processes called biophotons at the cellular level. All the cells are in constant communication, and that communication is very coherent. In other words, the waves that speak to each other are like tuning forks that resonate very tightly together.
What does that have to do with aging? Biophotons?
Well, as we age, we lose that degree of coherence. It's like the tuning forks don't resonate so well together, and then light starts to spill out. Cancer cells give out more light, and they've measured that. And all the cells communicate like that. So if we can give a patch to somebody and see a decrease in degree of biophoton emission, then we're seeing that they're actually getting healthier. And we could perhaps suggest that that might have a long-term anti-aging effect. Aging is going to happen to everybody, but the rate of aging is what you want to slow down.
Well, I thank you all very much. I think in an era of all-time high stress and an environmental assault unlike anything human beings have ever before experienced, that it's a leap of faith from my perspective, because I can't see my meridians. I can't feel what the patches are doing other than the energy patches, but it makes sense.